loneliness on Prince Street, it's called a city, in Manhattan can be felt on rainy days, when men sit at the entrance of narrow apartment buildings poor, with smudges of dirt on their hands and faces. Lost middle-aged men. Few people pass on rainy days. Few stores are on the street. Women can be seen with wagons and boxes in them. There are fewer well-dressed teenagers passing that live in the Soho district. Even the wealthy look haggard, plainly dressed, hurried, despite the changes from 1975 to 2006. Poetry readings, art galleries, cafes filled with people can be seen. Bob, a middle-aged man, carries a copy of Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. Formerly, all the world was mad, say the most refined, and they think, we have invented happiness, say the last men, and they blink. He reads the line over and over in the book, stares at a poor man playing the violin. A beautiful work by Vivaldi. No one stops to listen. Bob has lost his job today and buys a newspaper, bringing down crime. Wireless video cameras peer down from lampposts 30 feet above the sidewalk. In a first installment program to place cameras throughout the city at a cost of $9 million. Hundreds of additional cameras could follow if the city receives $81.5 million in federal grants. This is to ensure that Lower Manhattan and parts of Midtown are secure, such as used in London's financial district. 1,000 cameras with 2,100 scheduled to be placed by the year 2008. We're in 2015 now. You see how that has progressed. An additional 3,100 to monitor housing projects. What will be used to ensure that citizens will not be robbed of their goals? Hard-won dreams as writers, musicians, filmmakers, educators, denied their rights by those craving sadistic power or by deeply felt prejudice by some of the people invested with this authority. Will Brooklyn or New York City look like it did in the 1970s? He begins to walk, lost in thought about the loss of his job. A streetwalker passes. Want to have a good time, she asks. Bob shakes his head no. Sadness sweeps through his body. He walks down the street quickly. Children in baby carriages seem to be behind him constantly, pushed by loud, careless women. Two elderly women pass. One woman says to the other, my mother would sit in the automat with her friend Sadie, and they would get a sandwich from the box, put a few quarters in it, look through the glass to see it, and place their lunch on a tray. They would talk about the lectures they would go to. This was where near Woolworth and chock full of nuts. I remember these people because I will say that I'm Jewish, and I knew tons of these ladies, and as little of the amount of books that some of these women wrote, they could tell you the world. You'd sit down and hear them in the automat, and boy, you'd learn things. Okay? So everything is long gone. All the stores, the automat, chock full of nuts. No one speaks Yiddish anymore. My mother was what might today be called an activist. She spoke Yiddish and English. The friends nod. They look at each other and walk down the street slowly. Bob thought about McCarthy, the great American heroine, a CIA agent with a top-level job that felt it was her duty as a good American to let it be known that secret prison camps were in existence in Europe in the year 2006, created by the U.S. government. An influential newspaper let the public know. This came at an important time when thousands of citizens, teachers, artists, and anyone with the slightest amount of political protest in the past were under secret surveillance, and after the president tried to pass a bill for this to continue with new powers where search warrants would not be needed. I'm talking about 2006. Anyway, I think I'll end with this. But I mean, I have 3 more pages of this story that was never published. I was writing about 2006 in New York City, and now we're in 2015. But this was the way 2006 progressed. And I used to go to Soho because I was a poor kid. I used to go to Soho to see what the other half lived like. You know, but now they don't live as well as I would have hoped, you know, they could, because the cappuccino houses and all the stuff, the escape places, it's like you have to have a lot of money to live in New York City, and the rents are exorbitant. But one thing I will say, there's always a way back. If anyone remembers the 1950s, and I don't, but I see it everywhere on television and books, there was the 1960s, and boy, they were different. So there's always a way back. We just have to work on that way back. We have to remind people that it's good to have fun And you can only have fun in a free and lovely, lively, happy, resourceful, and country with a personality.